Would you dare hang a painting in your home if it had been linked to over 50 house fires and survived every single one? In the dim light of a cluttered attic in northern England, an old canvas lay propped against a wall, wrapped in yellowing newspaper. The house had been abandoned for nearly a decade, its floorboards warped with moisture and rot, yet the painting remained untouched, unburned. It always did. The image on the canvas was deceptively simple. A young boy, no more than 5 or 6 years old, crying silently as he stared straight ahead. His eyes were impossibly large, glassy, as if permanently on the edge of fresh tears. The background was nothing but shadow, swallowing every trace of warmth or joy. There was no signature, no date, just that sorrowful, unforgettable stare. To most, it would have seemed like a piece of forgotten kitsch. But to a small group of firefighters, insurance adjusters, and terrified homeowners across Britain, the painting had a name: The Crying Boy, and it was cursed. The first official report surfaced in the early 1980s. A family home in Yorkshire went up in flames, reduced to cinders in a matter of hours. Fire investigators combed through the ruins and found one object, face down near the charred fireplace, completely untouched by the inferno, which the painting, The Crying Boy. It should have been just a strange coincidence, one-time anomaly. But then it happened again and again and again. By 1985, over 50 fires across the UK had been linked to homes that displayed identical copies of The Crying Boy. Every blaze left near total destruction in its wake, yet the paintings always survived, pristine, as if flame itself recoiled from their sorrow. Newspapers fed the flames with sensational headlines like "Blazing Curse of the Crying Boy" and "Tears of Fire." Tabloids spun tales of cursed canvases, haunted brushstrokes, and ghostly children seeking revenge. And soon, the painting was no longer just art. It was a warning. Firefighters who had responded to multiple of these blazes began speaking out. One stationed in Essex recounted being at no less than 5 house fires where the painting had hung prominently, and where everything else, from furniture to family heirlooms, had been reduced to ashes. He refused to let a copy into his own home. "It doesn't matter if it's real or not," he said. "It's not worth the risk." Psychologists began weighing in on the growing panic. Dr. Harriet Mallory, trauma specialist, described the phenomenon as an example of collective projection. The painting itself is emotionally charged. A child in visible pain triggers our deepest fears. When tragedy strikes, the mind looks for symbols to attach blame. The crying boy becomes a scapegoat for chaos we cannot control. But what if it wasn't just projection? Each family swore they'd bought the painting innocently, some from charity shops, others from department stores or mail-order catalogs. Most didn't even realize it was part of a larger series until it was too late. One amateur researcher created a map of fire reports, tracing a shocking number of incidents to homes with the same painting. A local radio host, known for debunking urban legends, hung a copy in his studio. A week later, the building's electrical system overloaded and caught fire. His broadcast equipment was destroyed. The painting was retrieved from the ashes, unharmed. A retired firefighter named Alan Wilkinson began compiling a personal dossier on the painting. After reviewing dozens of reports and witness accounts, he was forced to admit the pattern was unsettlingly consistent. While he maintained skepticism, he eventually refused to even be in the same room as a reproduction. Homeowners with the painting began to report disturbing phenomena. Some claimed to hear soft crying during the night. Others had vivid nightmares, flames licking at their ceilings, small hands pulling at their feet while they slept. One woman swore she woke to find the painting leaning against her bed, even though she had hung it securely on the wall. In another home, a man described watching the painting shift slightly, as if the boy inside were turning to follow him. By the late 1980s, the panic had escalated into public hysteria. People began destroying their paintings in droves. Some tossed them into dumpsters. Others tried to set them on fire, only to find the frame charred while the canvas remained mysteriously intact. The tabloid, The Sun, launched a campaign offering to collect and destroy any crying boy paintings mailed in. They received hundreds, but still not everyone could part with them. Even amid the fear, many owners confessed to feeling an emotional pull. The sadness in the boy's eyes was too real, too human. Felt like he was alive, not just trapped in paint, but pleading with you not to be discarded, not to be forgotten. It's a phenomenon known in psychology as pareidolia, where the mind attributes meaning or agency to objects, especially human-like forms. But this seemed to go deeper. Was it simply emotion or something more? I couldn't look away, one woman admitted. I felt like he needed me. The origins of the painting only added fuel to the fire. Art historians trace the image back to Bruno Amadio, a Spanish artist who sometimes went by the name Giovanni Bragolin. In the years following World War II, Amadio created a series of portraits depicting orphan children from across Europe, all of them crying. He claimed the works were meant to honor the forgotten pain of a generation. But rumors soon emerged that one of the children he painted was no ordinary boy. One version of the story says the child was a mute orphan rescued from a fire in Madrid. His parents had died in the blaze. And strangely, wherever the boy was placed afterward, fire seemed to follow. Every home that took him in eventually caught fire. No cause could ever be found. Eventually, the boy disappeared. Some say he died in a blaze that consumed the orphanage. Others believe he was institutionalized. The artist, racked with guilt, painted his likeness to preserve the child's memory. But many now believe he captured more than just sorrow, that he trapped a fragment of the boy's pain, or worse, within the canvas itself. Skeptics have offered rational explanations. Some claim the prints were coated in a flame-retardant varnish, which helped them survive fires. Others point out that the paintings were mass-produced and cheap, making them especially popular in working-class homes, which statistically experienced more house fires due to older wiring and heating systems. But no one has ever convincingly explained why so many people with no connection to each other experienced the same disturbing symptoms, fears, and premonitions. And not every painting survived because of varnish. Some had no protective coating at all, and still emerged unscathed from infernos that destroyed everything else in the room. In recent years, the legend of the crying boy has found new life online. On Reddit, users share unsettling sightings. On TikTok, creators dare each other to print the image and hang it in their homes, filming what happens next. Some believe the curse is dormant, lying in wait. Others argue that the painting's power grows stronger through belief that attention itself is the fuel it needs. In 2021, a supposed original replica sold for over £2,000 in a private online auction. The buyer's identity was never revealed. But weeks later, an anonymous post appeared on a paranormal message board. I bought the painting. I didn't believe in curses. I still don't know if I do. But last night, my smoke detector went off at 3:12 a.m. No fire. No reason. Just smoke, and in the dark, I swear I heard a child crying. I haven't touched the painting since. The post was never updated. So, is it real? Is there truly a cursed painting that defies flame and haunts every room it's hung in? Or is this a brilliant example of mass suggestion, psychological imprinting, and media-fueled hysteria? We may never know. But whether it's supernatural or simply symbolic, the fear remains. Art has always had power, but sometimes that power stares back. This was strange but true. If you enjoyed this story, make sure you subscribe. We post a new one every single day. Drop a like if you've ever owned something that gave you the creeps. Tell us in the comments. Would you hang the crying boy in your house? Tomorrow's story is about the man who woke up in a different universe.